My name is Jason Barr, Jr. I'm the senior pastor of the Macedonia Baptist Church in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have served as the senior pastor of this congregation for the last 22 years. I have been in ministry for almost 30 years. I am a native of Jacksonville, Florida, a graduate of the University of Florida in Gainesville, Florida, and Duke University School of Divinity in Durham, North Carolina. I have been a pastor here, as I said earlier, at Macedonia in Pittsburgh for 22 years. And prior to this city, I was in a little small town in western North Carolina called Spindale, North Carolina, for 6 years. I have had a lot of experience over the last 30 years in ministry, a lot of success, but I've also had a few regrets that I want to talk about today. The largest regret I've had is not being consistent in my insistence on biblical authority within the congregations that I have pastored, and particularly here at the Macedonia congregation. I regret not holding fast to this core value that is a part of my belief, because I succumbed to compromise with people who ultimately left the ministry, even though I did not push biblical authority as much as I would have liked to. In other words, I compromised with people, and even though I compromised, these people still left the congregation anyway. I feel much better about my ministry in my latter days than in my former days, because now I hold fast to that core value as a part of my ministry, but I wish I had held fast to that core value for all of my ministry. I also have major regrets when it comes to hiring people. I have oftentimes hired people too fast and not paid attention to details within hiring. In a real essence, I have not done a lot of due diligence in hiring over the 30 years that I have been a pastor. And one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my hiring decisions as a senior pastor is that I've hired people based on competence and credentials, and I have discovered over the years that it is better to hire people based on chemistry and character. That is to say, I am more effective in working with people that I have chemistry with and people who I can trust to watch out for me in the ministry, more so than hiring people who have great academic credentials. A third regret that I've had in ministry over the years is not emphasizing stewardship myself as much as I should. In my early years of ministry, both in this church and in my prior church, I would often bring in other people to teach my congregation stewardship. What I have learned in latter years of ministry is no one can teach your congregation, no one can teach your members better than you, the senior pastor or the pastor of the congregation. And I have regretted not trusting myself and the authority that God has given me to teach my congregation how to give and how to be good stewards of the resources that God has entrusted to them. And finally, the greatest area of challenge and regret that I have is not being a better shepherd of my people. I'm not a great shepherd because in large part I am not a people person. That is to say, I would much rather do things for people than do things with people. But notwithstanding that, I have seen significant limitations in my effectiveness as a pastor because I have not done those people things, those people-like quality. I've not exhibited those people-like qualities that are necessary to getting into the hearts and the minds of people. At the end of the day, what I have learned is a cliche, but it has been very beneficial in my life. At the end of the day, what I have learned is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Again, I have had great success in ministries in both of the congregations that I have served. And I have had success that have seen numbers of members increase dramatically over both of the congregations. But here I have shared with you a few of the regrets that I have, and I share these regrets with the understanding that if I had been more diligent in these areas of regret, my success would have probably even been greater. Thank you.